Today we will try to understand AC circuits. Okay. In AC circuits, what happens is, of course, we will talk about how the circuit will behave when resistance, capacitance and inductor will be connected in the circuit. See, for AC source, when AC source is connected, see this we have taken one more example in of transient behavior of the circuit elements, where we have studied the effect of resistance, capacitors, inductor with combination to DC circuit, DC source. Here we will try to understand the same thing with AC source. Very important topic. Okay, so see, resistance, inductive reactance, resistance, inductive inductive reactance and capacitive reactance are the three opposition to the to the AC circuit. Now when you find out the total opposition to the AC circuit, we have to make sure that we also consider the phase angles. We have already done phase angle, phasor diagram. Okay, so we need to consider phase angle when these circuits are connected in the circuit. So individually, first we will try to understand what happens when only resistance, only capacitor or only inductor is connected in the circuit, and then we will try to understand what happens when R, L, C, all three components are connected to the AC circuit in series combination and parallel combination. So that is what is our objective, to understand AC circuits. That is what we are going to understand in that under the heading of AC circuits. Okay, so for the first, say, this is a symbolic representation of an AC source. Okay, so I have connected a resistance. Okay, pure resistance. Of course, current will flow through that. Let that current be I. Okay, and for a pure resistance, according to Ohm's law, I will be equals to V upon R. And if you draw the phasor diagram, the phasor diagram will be like this. This is V and this is I. What does that mean? Yeah, according to phasor diagram, that the current and voltage are in same phase. That means phase difference between current and voltage is 0 degree in case when only resistance is connected to the AC source. V is equal to VC is equal V is equal to V omega sine theta. Okay, so this is the input which we are, AC input voltage which we are applying. So this is the first case when only resistance is connected across an AC source. Okay, the second part is, second circuit is, say, when an AC source is connected or an inductor is connected across an AC source, V omega sine theta. This is L. Okay, let's say this is the current I which will be flowing. Okay, now inductor has a property to oppose any change in the current, right? Or whenever a current is flowing through the inductor, the applied voltage will induce another voltage. Okay, that means the current which will be flowing through the conductor will induce the voltage across the inductor. Okay, so the formula for inductive reactance is XL is equal to 2 pi FL. Okay, 2 pi FL, and for inductor, this is I, this is V, and this is E. This is the phasor diagram for, and only when the inductor is connected across an AC source. From this diagram, what you can see is voltage leads the current by how much? 90 degree, and the total phase shift between applied voltage and induced voltage is 180 degree. Okay, 180 degree for for when the AC circuit has only inductor connected to it. Now this is 2 pi FL, where F is the frequency of the signal and L is the inductor inductor value. Okay, so for DC signal frequency is 0. Okay, well, of course DC signal has a straight line, right? So there is no complete cycle. So for DC signal frequency is 0, so XL will be 0. And what is XL? XL is the opposition to the flow of current. XL is the opposition by the inductor to the flow of current. That means when I say, it is nothing but the resistance offered by the inductor to the flow of current. So if resistance is 0, what does that mean? See, I have told you there are two types: resistance 0, resistance infinite. When resistance is 0, it means it's a short circuit, right? It's a short circuit. And when resistance is infinite, that means it works as open circuit. So what you can see is when frequency is 0 for DC signal, frequency is 0, XL is equal to 0. That means the inductor acts as short circuit for DC signal. That means it allows DC signal to pass through it, whereas it blocks AC signals, right? Third one is circuit where we have only a capacitor. What is a capacitor? Capacitor is the property of a dielectric in a capacitor is to oppose, or it is oppose any change in the current. Say input is V is equal to V omega sine theta. Okay, so this is the capacitor. Let this be the current which will be flowing in the capacitor. Now for capacitive reactance, that means resistance offered by the capacitor to the AC signal is given by Xc is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FL. Okay, and if you draw the phasor diagram for capacitor, it will be like this: VI. What does that mean? What does it indicate? According to phasor diagram, the voltage across capacitor will be, or the current through the capacitor will lead the voltage across capacitor by 90 degrees. So this is very important. As I told you that the total opposition, when we calculate for an AC circuit, of course we have to understand R, XL, XC, but apart from that we have to make sure that we are taking into consideration this phase angles. Of course, when we will go through the circuits, series and parallel circuits of RLC, we will try to understand that. Okay, so we can say in a capacitor, current leads the voltage by 90 degree. Now in case of XC is 1 upon 2 pi FL, right? 2 pi FL, where 2 pi is constant, F is the frequency, and 2 pi FC, where and C is the value of capacitor. So of course the capacitive reactance is inversely proportional to the frequency and the capacity of the capacitor. Now for DC signal frequency is 0, and if frequency is 0 in this equation, if you make frequency 0, anything divided by 0 is infinity. Xc is equal to infinite. That means the resistance offered, what is Xc? Xc is the resistance offered by the capacitor to the AC signal. So if Xc is infinite, what does it mean? It means it works as open circuit. That means capacitor will not allow DC signal to pass through it, whereas inductor, it works as a short circuit, so it allows DC signal to pass through it. Okay, so let us try to imagine a circuit where you have both R, L and C. So what happens at low frequency? At low frequency, capacitive reactance is very high, inductive reactance is low. At high frequency, inductive reactance is high, capacitive reactance is low. Okay, so of course the opposition to the AC will depend upon the characteristics of inductor and capacitor. In case of resistance, both voltage and current are in phase, and it will be a direct relationship of I is equal to V upon R, or R is equal to V upon I. So this is the individual study of what happens when only resistance, only inductor or a capacitor is connected to an AC source. Next, let us try to understand impedance. We have already considered resistance, inductor, capacitor separately, individually connected to AC circuits, right? Now we can have all these three opposition, that is resistance, inductive reactance and capacitive reactance, when we connect all these three components R, L and C to the AC circuit, right? So the total opposition will be R, because of R, XL and XC. But that is not the only thing which has to be considered, because we have to consider the phase angles also, which we have individually tried to understand. Okay, so the total phase difference or the total opposition to the AC circuit by the three components is given by Z is equal to under root of R square plus X square, where X is XL minus XC. So this is the total impedance or the total opposition to the flow of current when resistance, inductor and capacitor are connected in the circuit. Of course, what will happen is when you connect these components, either you can connect all these components in series or in parallel. So according to that, the first topic which we will try to understand is series reactance and resistance. Series reactance and resistance, that means R, L, C connected in series. Okay, when I say reactance, because the opposition by the capacitor and the inductor is called as reactance, whereas opposition to the flow of current by a pure resistance is always specified, will be specified as a resistance. Okay, so let's say this is your AC input source, and then let's say R, an inductor and a capacitor is connected in series, R, L and C. Of course, when connected in series, the current I remains the same. Okay, now what we can see is if in first case resistance, the voltage and current are in same phase, voltage and current are in same phase, 0 degree phase shift. In case of inductor, the voltage leads the current by 90 degree. Okay, and C, in case of capacitor, the current leads the voltage by 90 degree, and the total opposition will be given as Z is equal to under root of R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. Okay, now if theta is the phase difference, if theta is the phase difference, we can say tan theta is equal to XL minus XC upon R, or theta is equal to tan inverse of XL minus XC upon R. Okay, so we have to of course as current remains same throughout the circuit as it is connected in the circuit, so voltage VR, that is voltage drop across resistance R will be I multiplied by R. Voltage drop across inductor, that is VL, will be I multiplied by XL, that is inductive reactance, and voltage drop across capacitor will be I multiplied by voltage drop across I multiplied by the opposition by the capacitor to the AC signal, that is capacitive reactance. Okay, so VR is same phase, VR is in same phase. VL what you can say is leads the current by 90 degree, and VC lags the current, this VC lags the current by 90 degree, VC lags the current by 90 degree. Okay, now we have to understand this circuit for three conditions when XL is greater than XC. Okay, XL is greater than XC. When XL is greater than XC, in this formula, when XL is greater than XC, tan theta will be positive. Okay, tan theta will be positive, and of course when XL is greater than XC, the circuit will be inductive, therefore voltage will lead the current by an angle theta. Okay, in second case, when XL is less than XC, that means the circuit will be capacitive, and if the circuit is capacitive, of course what you can see is XL minus XC, tan theta will be negative, and if tan theta is negative, we can say the circuit is capacitive, and if the circuit is capacitive, what you can see is current or voltage, we can say voltage lags the current by an angle theta. Okay, angle theta. And when XL is equal to XC, XL is equal to XC, this is the third condition. What happens if XL and XC are same? As they are in phase opposition, they will cancel each other, so the only opposition to the circuit, only opposition in the circuit will be because of the pure resistance, where voltage and current are in same phase. Okay, voltage and current are in same phase. So this will be the graphical representation. So I hope you have understood. So when R, L and C are connected in series, okay, we are trying to understand the operation of the circuit on the basis of phase angle. So what we suggested is, what happens if XL is greater than XC? Of course the circuit will be, XL is the opposition by the inductor to the current, XC is the opposition by the capacitor to the inductor. So if XL is greater than XC, what does it mean? That inductive reactance is more as compared to capacitive reactance. The circuit will work as an inductor, right? And if the circuit is working as an inductor, what happens is voltage will lead the current by 90 degree. The overall voltage in the circuit will lead the current by 90 degree. Okay, and if XL is less than XC, that means inductive reactance is less than capacitive reactance. That means capacitive reactance is more. So the circuit, it work as if it is having only capacitor, and if it is working as if only capacitor is connected in the circuit, that means current will lead the voltage by 90 degree, or you can say voltage is lagging the current by 90 degree. Okay, and of course in a generalized term we specify it as theta is equal to tan inverse of XL minus XC upon L. So the angle theta will the voltage will lead the current by an angle theta, or here current will lead the voltage by angle theta. And if XL equals to XC, as both are opposite phase, they will cancel each other, so the only opposition left will be of resistance, where voltage and current are in same phase. So this is series reactance and resistance. On the same lines we will try to understand parallel reactance and resistance. Next is parallel reactance and resistance, that means RLC connected in parallel. So if this is the AC source, now R L and C connected in parallel. Okay, RLC is connected in parallel. So this is R, this is L, this is C, and the inductive reactance is represented by XL and capacitive reactance is represented by XC. Okay, so the total impedance Z is equal to V upon I, and we say I is equal to V upon Z. That means current is voltage divided by the total impedance. Impedance is represented by Z. Okay, so now the total current through the parallel branch is given by I is equal to under root of IR the whole square plus IL minus IC the whole square. Okay, and if theta is the phase difference, then tan theta is IL minus IC upon IR, or theta is equal to tan inverse of IL minus IC upon R. Okay, now we have to understand this condition for 3 state. If XL is greater than XC, let us try to understand what happens. XL is greater than XC, that means resistance through this branch. Now in parallel branch, what will happen is current will get distributed. Okay, and current always takes least resistance path. So if XL is greater than XC, that means resistance at this point is more than the resistance through the capacitor. That means less current will be flowing through this, more current will be flowing through the capacitor. That means IC will be greater than IL. Okay, IC will be greater than IL, and if IC is greater than IL in this equation, theta will be negative. Okay, theta will be negative, and for theta negative, we will what you can say is we will get lagging inductor current. Okay, this is the first case. Second case, if XL is less than XC. If XL is less than XC, that means more opposition will be through the capacitor, less will be the opposition through the inductor. That means more current will flow through the inductor. That means IL will be greater than IC, and if IL is greater than IC, theta will be positive, and it will give you leading capacitor current. Okay, and the third case, if XL is equal to XC, we can say IL is equal to IC. That means theta will be tan inverse of 0. Okay, tan inverse of 0. At that point, the only resistance offered will be R. So at that point, voltage and current will be in same phase. Okay, so that is what is all about parallel reactance and resistance. So we tried to understand AC circuits with individually resistance, capacitor and inductor, and then we connected resistance, capacitor, inductor in series combination and then in parallel combination, and try to understand the circuit behavior when input AC waveform is applied to the circuit. I hope you have understood. The next topic is resonance. Okay, resonance is the effect that will be produced when when inductive reactance that is XL equals to capacitive reactance that is Xc. So this resonance is the phenomena or effect that will be produced when inductive reactance XL is equal to capacitive reactance Xc, and the frequency at which this happens is called resonating frequency, denoted by Fr. Okay, denoted by Fr. So what I said, when inductive reactance XL is equal to capacitive reactance Xc. What is XL? XL is given by the formula 2 pi FL, and Xc is given by 1 upon 2 pi Fc. Okay, if I am calculating resonant frequency, I will mention this as Fr. So by this statement, what I can say is 2 pi FRL equals to 1 upon 2 pi Fr C, or I can say Fr square is equal to 1 upon 4 pi square LC, or I can say Fr is 1 upon 2 pi under root of LC. So this is the formula for resonating frequency. I hope you have understood. Okay, it is the formula for resonating frequency. Now of course we will try to understand resonance with two factors, that means series resonance and parallel resonance. Series resonance. See, series resonance will occur when again resistance, inductor and capacitor are connected in series R, L and C. Okay, this is inductive reactance and this is capacitive reactance. XL is equal to 2 pi FL, where XC is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FC. Okay, FC. So what you can understand is, when you increase the frequency जब आप बढ़ाओगे, as the frequency increases, XL directly proportional to frequency will increase, but capacitor is inversely proportional to frequency. तो frequency जब आप बढ़ाओगे तो capacitive reactance will decrease. That means when you keep on increasing the frequency, inductive reactance will increase, capacitive reactance will decrease, and at some point they will be at the same value. That means XL is equal to XC, right? XL is equal to XC, and in series combination XL leads the current by 90 degree and XC lags current by 90 degree. That means XL and XC are 180 degree out of phase, and if they are out of phase, in this condition what will happen is they will be equal, but they will oppose each other, so they will cancel each other. That means XL minus XC will be equals to 0, and if that value becomes 0, what happens is the only opposition in the circuit will be resistance. So in that case impedance is minimum, current is maximum. So if you draw a graph between say frequency and current, the graph will look like this. So for low frequency what will happen is, for low frequency inductive reactance will be less, but capacitive reactance will be more. Matlab the circuit will be more capacitive. there will be opposition due to the capacitor, so current will be less. As you keep on increasing, the inductive reactance will increase but the capacitive reactance will decrease. So the waveform will look like this. Okay, so at low frequency the circuit is capacitive, at high frequency the circuit is inductive. When XL is equal to XC, at this point this is called as resonating frequency, will be represented by FR. At FR current I will be maximum. Okay, at low frequency opposition will be because of the capacitor, at high frequency opposition will be because of the inductor. Only at resonating frequency the current will be maximum. Okay, then we take IO, which is 70.7% of the peak value. So this is F1 and this is F2. So we can say there is a this circuit, series resonance circuit, will pass only a particular range of frequency for, right? Pass means current will flow in the circuit. Current will flow in the circuit only for range of frequency from F2 from F1 to F2, but at FR it will get the peak value. See, basically these circuits are used for tuning radio and tuning televisions. मतलब frequency set करने के लिए आप उसको use करेंगे, तो एक particular frequency पे ही current flow होना चाहिए, बाकी सब frequency को उसने reject करना चाहिए, right? For that we calculate resonating frequency, and this F1 to F2, the range for which the current is maximum or 70.7% of the maximum value is called as bandwidth of your series resonance circuit. Okay, so what are the characteristics? At resonance XL is equal to XC, but as they are phase opposite, they will cancel each other. Second, what you can see is at resonance current is maximum at resonance. Of course current maximum है, इसका मतलब है impedance is minimum at resonance. Okay, and third, if ऐसा लिखेंगे, for low frequency XC is greater than XL, the circuit is capacitive. For high frequency XL will be greater than XC, the circuit is inductive, right? The circuit will be inductive. That means when XL is greater than XC, the circuit works as if there is only capacitor is connected in the circuit. And for high frequency, when XL is greater than XC, the circuit works as if only an inductor is connected in the circuit. Okay, I hope you have understood. At high frequency XL will be more as compared to XC, because XL is directly proportional to frequency and capacitive reactance is inversely proportional to frequency. So at low frequency XL will be less, capacitive reactance will be more, while high frequency XL will be more, capacitive reactance will be less. So that accordingly we have mentioned it. So this type of resonance, series resonance, we call it as band pass. See, band pass means only a particular range of frequency is passed, all other range of frequency is blocked or stopped, right? So that is why it is called as band pass. So this is characteristics of series resonance, and this is the working principle of series resonance circuit. Similarly, we will try to understand working principle and characteristics of parallel resonance. the last one under the heading of resonance is the parallel resonance. In parallel resonance, what you can see is capacitor and inductor are connected in parallel. Okay, let us try to understand the operation of this circuit. See, what happens is, again, what will XL? XL is 2 pi FL. Okay, XL is directly proportional to frequency. XC is 1 upon 2 pi FC. That means inversely proportional. XC is inversely proportional to the frequency. Now what happens is, as they are connected in parallel branch, let's say this current is IC, let this current be IL. Okay, now what happens to the what happens when the frequency is increased? When frequency is increased, inductive reactance increases, capacitive reactance decreases, right? At a certain frequency, what will happen is, this inductive reactance and capacitive reactance will be same. So if resistance of the two branch will same, that means the two currents will be same. IC is equal to IC is equal to IL. So at this point, IC will be equals to IL. Okay, and they are in phase opposition. If they are in phase opposition, they will cancel. As they are in phase opposition, they will cancel each other. They will cancel each other. That means if both this current are cancelled, do you think any current will flow through the circuit? Of course not. That means current is minimum at resonance. And when I say current is minimum, that means impedance and the resistance offered by the circuit, impedance is maximum during resonance. Okay, so this is what we have understood by parallel resonance circuit. Okay, so if you draw a graph with frequency and current, what you can see is, at resonant frequency, say this is the resonant frequency, the current decreases, the impedance increases. So this is your impedance, that is resistance total opposition to the current by the circuit, and this is the current waveform. So what will happen is, if you see this waveform, what you can understand is, at low frequency, the low frequency current is maximum, at high frequency current is maximum, but at resonating frequency the current dips. That means only at resonant frequency current will not pass through the circuit, but for higher and lower frequency current will be easily pass. In that case, in case of series resonance, lower frequency, higher frequency, it will be rejected. Only for a particular range of frequency near to the resonating frequency, current will flow through the circuit. Therefore it was called as band pass. Here what we are doing is, all these frequency are passed, but this band of frequency, say 75%, 70% of the peak value. So this is F1, this is FR, this is F2. So for this range of frequency only, the current will be minimum through the circuit. For all other frequencies, the current will easily pass through it. So what it will do is, it will reject this range of frequency. So when you try to understand the characteristics, what you can see is, at resonance, IL is equal to IC, as they are 180 degree out of phase, 180 degree out of phase, they will cancel each other. Okay, so the next point, because of this, current is minimum at resonance. When you say current is minimum, we can say impedance is maximum at resonance. Impedance is maximum at resonance. Okay, so before resonating frequency, the circuit will be inductive. After resonating frequency, the circuit will be capacitive. Okay, and the last one is, this one is called as band stop. That was band pass, right? Or you can say band reject. This one band reject, and that was the band reject means only that particular range of frequency will be stopped while all other frequency will be passed. So it is called as band reject, and that one was called as band pass or band acceptor. It is here only a range of frequency is accepted there, and here only a range of frequency is rejected. So this is all about resonance, series resonance and parallel resonance. I hope you have understood. That's all. This here we finish your unit number 3. From the next videos we will start with unit number 4. The topic is transducer. Thank you so much.